Today on the show, it's Bill Yerby with Meprolight. You probably have heard of them. You may not know enough about them. Very interesting story from them, and they make pretty cool products. This Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by Savage Arms. Hey, welcome into Gun Talk Nation. Today on Gun Talk Nation, we're diving deep into optics because this is just like the world of optics has changed and grown a lot in the last several years. One of the companies that you've probably heard about, but maybe don't know enough about them is Meprolight. And today we have Bill Yerby with Meprolight. Bill, welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your program.
So, Bill, I think that it's one of those, you guys are one of those companies that people go, Meprolight, I've heard of them. Or maybe you own a product, but it seems like there's still some familiarity that needs to happen for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Meprolight has been doing business since 1990. Where you would find Meprolight is on a lot of your pistols that you might own. We still do a lot of manufacturing for Glock, for SIG, for Smith Wesson, for Springfield, for HK, for almost all the pistol companies. And we're really known for our Tritium sights. We were one of the first to market ever with Tritium in the US market, and we're a leader in that category. And our products are known to be the brightest and clearest on the market. They're 30% brighter, actually tested by those companies that I just mentioned. And so we're known for day and night brightness and for pistol sights. And we also have an incredible line of optics. And, that's the thing that I think that people need to learn more about, because they really offer unbelievable advantages compared to what's in the marketplace today.
So, okay. So if you bring up night sights and Tritium online, you can get into, a bar fight with people about this stuff. Everybody has a strong opinion.
Yeah.
And some people would say that night sights for most use are not that bright. I mean, how do you guys get yours brighter? Is that like a trade secret, or is there something that makes them brighter?
It's a manufacturing process that we use. It's almost like a fluorescent light bulb. We use a white sleeve that actually makes the Tritium glow brighter, and it's a patented manufacturing process that no one uses our system. So the reason ours is brighter is because of the way we manufacture it and how we put the product together. It's our own internal recipe of how we do that, but it's the end result is it's truly brighter than anything out there. Even the optics, when you get into optics, that same message applies. I think we have the clearest, brightest optics on the market. And that's, those are things that, people need to know about Meprolight, is you really get a really quality, crisp, accurate view, whether you're using the pistol sights or the optics.
One of the cool parts of Meprolight is your history, your background, where this originates from, and how important it is to the people there. We're talking about these are being made in Israel, right?
Correct. We have been working with the IDF since 1990. They came to us. We were a tool company originally, and they wanted a level that glowed in the dark to fire mortars more accurately at night. So that's how we got into the Tritium business, and that's what really started Meprolight. But from there, we went to the Uzi and the M16. We made sights for them, which really put us in the business. And so we've been working with the IDF for many, many years. We also supplied Tritium for tanks so that they knew when to reload their ammo. So when you saw the glow, you needed to reload. We also worked with the refueling of fighter jets in the air before robotics, so they knew where to put the hoses for refuel. And then we've also got a history of producing products for the IDF, the M21, the M5 or the Pro V2, and most recently the O2, which was done for Yamam, which is one of the best fighting special force units in the world when it comes to anti-terrorism and protection of Israel. So what makes Meprolight different, to answer your question, is our mantra is Israel made American tough, but we put our product through unbelievable testing. Like you as a consumer, every single optic that we make goes through 3 gun simulators, and a zeroing station. So every box that you get, every product is mil spec. It's designed to take a beating. And, an optic is a life is another mantra that we use. Whether it's your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, everyone goes into the IDF at age 18. And that's why we say an optic is a life. If it fails, we lose one of our own. So that's why quality control, crispness, clarity is really a differentiator for Meprolight when it comes to the U.S. market and our products. So whether it's Tritium or optics, it's the brightest and clearest on the market.
That's an important thing to explain, Alice. I'm just kind of reiterate that. I mean, this is an Israeli-based company, and everyone in Israel becomes part of the Israeli Defense Forces, right?
Correct.
And so, yeah, I guess what you're trying to say is this could be your brother, your sister, your uncle, your cousin, your whatever, using the products. And I think there is a great respect for the IDF because you live next door to people who want to kill you all the time, like day in, day out. There's a great respect for the preparedness and the way they go about this, mindfulness of quality of gear and just all the training and everything that they do. Let's talk about the optics side of it, because I think I knew Meprolight just like most people, all the OEM, the stuff you have your sights on Glocks and SIGs and all these different guns out there, but you do a lot in the way of what I guess we just all default to calling them red dot sights, but and there's been a lot of growth in that area and for the popularity in the last several years. Talk about that side of the business.
Yeah, that's our number one growth side of our business. Optics are really doing well for us right now. And the reason for that is the story I'm telling you today. Our optics aren't Me Too products. I'd like to say Meprolight goes a little bit above and beyond in everything that we do. We have a product called the Foresight, which is probably the coolest, most innovative optic that I think's been designed in the last few years. It's it's like a heads-up display for a fighter jet or your Tesla, your heads-up display in your car. It comes with, you can customize your red dot, you can make it your own, you can build it for your activity, but it has a built-in compass, a leveler, it's Bluetooth, you can auto zero the product with you take 3 shots at a target, take a picture with your cell phone, and then it talks to the unit and auto zeros it. You take 3 more shots, verify that it's zeroed, and then you use the rest of the box of ammo to have fun. With the shortage of ammo.
So wait, so you're not actually adjusting it going up, 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 down, 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 left, left, right, right. It, based on the picture, adjusts the reticle?
Yes, it based on there's an app called Double Shoot that we partnered with, and we're the only company. Double Shoot you can use in the way you're talking about. You can still zero the Foresight the old-fashioned way if that's the way you want to do it.
Okay.
But now we can do it all electronically, which totally separates it from everything else on the market. The other thing that's cool is when you put it to your cell phone, you can save up to 10 weapon profiles. So you can move it from pick rail to pick rail, tell the optic what gun it's on, as long as you're using the same ammo. You can move, you don't have to re-zero. So, whatever gun you're putting it on, it also can be used across different platforms. And put on different pick rails, and it knows which gun it's on. You tell it which gun it's on.
That's wild. And this is, I would call it full size reticle. I mean, this is not a pistol optic.
No, this is more for an AR, modern sport rifle. It's it's based off our number one selling body style, which is the Pro V2, which is another phenomenal unit. But it's got a real wide viewing window. It's mil spec. It's built to take a hit. And what we learned in all of this, because it takes time when you have something this technical to get the message to the consumer, that's the hardest part. It does so many things that are awesome. But the big thing was save time, save money on ammo, customize your red dot for what you want to do it, what you want to use it for, and then being able to move it from platform to platform. You don't need 10 red dots. You can have one red dot that goes cross categorically and does everything you need it to do.
Is that a
So,
quick, like a quick detach off and
yeah, it's
on?
got two quick detach levers and easy to put on, no problem. But this is a product that is truly revolutionary. So if your viewers want to get on Mepro.com and look at that, there's nothing in the industry that even does anything close to what this product does.
Well, I'm looking at, and you also have, and this is basically through an app to control the site. You
Correct.
can select 20 different reticles, and these are kind of interesting. I would just love to play with the reticles because these are reticles I've never seen before that you
Right.
guys have on this.
Yeah. So you can save up to 10 profiles, but 5 reticle options. So you can switch
Okay.
between reticles depending on what you're using it for. And we continually update reticles, based on what's popular in the marketplace.
It's almost an app update or firmware update or something like that, huh?
Yeah, it's just, my wife has a Tesla, but it automatically updates, which is super cool. But it's the same thing. We can automatically update through using the same process. So yes, we do updates all the time.
So I want to talk about stories because that's kind of, I know that companies in our world, whether it's shooting or hunting, self-defense, military, law enforcement, the products that we use, and I say products, but people listening to this, they don't think of themselves as a consumer. They're a shooter, they're a hunter, right? They're a protector. And the products are not a tennis racket. These are products
Right.
that people depend on for their lives, and or if it's just a fun thing, depend on it to win a competition or a hunting application. And from that, I find that there's always a lot of stories that come from customers or end users, shooters, hunters, military, law enforcement. Do you guys hear that feedback and those stories from folks who use your products?
Yes, we absolutely hear that from our customers. We have, training apps that we use and, retail training apps, and we get a lot of our feedback from the retail community because, they're the eyes and the ears, they're in front of the customer base. And we also have direct customer feedback that we look at. But, I think, when I was looking at the reviews yesterday, again, I was looking at, the business because we're reviewing what we did last year and where we're going this year. And, we're in the 9 and 10s in a lot of products, and that's a pretty high review ranking. And that's where I want to be. I mean, there's very few subpar rankings for our products. But to your point, when I look at who's on our site, okay, who comes into our site, we have a number one is law enforcement. Law enforcement officers are the number one visitors to our site. The number 2, 3, 4, 5 are all of the branches of the military.
Wow.
So the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard. So we have a very serious user base. And I think the story that I'm going for here with you is that they fought shoulder to shoulder with some of the IDF soldiers, some of the American troops, and they know what we use and they respect what we do. And that's why I think it's that way. The next largest group is lifetime NRA numbers and shooting instructors. So we have a very serious customer base, people that know what we do and how we do it. And that's a story all in itself because then comes retail and the consumer base. Mm-hmm. But when I look at the data, that's cool because it shows that they know the product, they know it's good product, they know it works. And they're interested to see what we're doing and to try our products.
Well, and Bill, from my experience, when you talk to law enforcement and military, they don't get caught up in what's fashionable. They really don't give a crap because if it's pink and has a squirrel on it, but it's going to make them shoot better and save their life. Cool. Put it on the gun. Happy to do it. They're not caught up in what's on social media. So that's a really interesting stat to say those are the guys who are coming to check out what you guys are doing. Bill, hold on one second. We're going to be right back. New from Timney Triggers is the enhanced feel trigger shoe for Glock pistols. No matter what Glock model, they have a shoe that fits it. What's the shoe? It's the part that your finger touches. So you're actually able to keep your internal Glock trigger parts, and all you're changing is that external little trigger shoe. It's easy to install, no gunsmith needed. Check it out at timneytriggers.com. Also, Hodgdon Powder Company. Everybody's getting into reloading these days, and they are the biggest supplier in the U.S. of smokeless powder, black powder substitutes. But the big deal is, if you're getting into reloading, you have to know how to do it and the proper recipes. And the Hodgdon Reloading Data Center is where to go for all that. They have all the information there. They've tested all these loads. They know what's safe. So check it out at hodgdonreloading.com. So you hear from these guys who are actually end users of the product, I guess.
Yes.
Do they email you guys? Do they call? Do they tell you stories?
Yeah, we work with special ops all over the world, including the IDF. So we're always looking to solve a problem that they haven't solved and make something better. Like, I don't talk much about what I'm going to talk to you about right now in the consumer business, but whether it's waterproof ratings or temperature ratings, we go above and beyond. We always go above and beyond what the mil spec standards are as a company. And I think that's really important because it's the innovation, the story of Meprolight that makes it what it is. And we get all the information from the people we work with. We listen, and then we try to give them what they're looking for. So when you get something as a consumer, like I was going to go into light signatures. Light signatures are, you're in camo, you don't want to give your position away. When you look through a Meprolight optic, the front viewing window is like it's not even there. There's no glare. It doesn't give itself away. You know, you can talk about coatings from our competitors. You can talk about other things, but there is a light signature feature. And when you're in a self-defense situation, you don't want to give your position away. And that's really important. So everything from light signature to temperature ratings to waterproofness, this is why those people come to us, because they know, you know, it's about an optic is a life. It could be your brother, your sister. That's how we build everything. You know, if your life depends on it, Meprolight, that's the story. You know, if I was going to have a pistol in my drawer with a sight on it, it would definitely be Meprolight. The other thing that people don't know about us is we're a leader in fiber optic and tritium. So the M21, which is one of our oldest products, runs off fiber optic and tritium, so you don't need batteries. That's an incredible thing. Like, if you've got your gun put away and you're using it for self-defense or whatever you're using it for, you don't have to worry about battery life. You know, it's so we do that in pistol sights with the FT front and rears, and in the M21, and we're launching the M22 at SHOT Show this year. So it's a brand new unit that will be coming, which is exciting.
You guys have done that for a long time. You also have something that is way different that SIG kind of popularized with their SAS. And it was one of those things that it was a perfect marriage of I thought it was a good application of the product. And people were like, wait a minute, what is happening right now? Talk about, this is the FT Bullseye.
Yes. So this is really exciting. So the FT Bullseye, the cool thing about the FT Bullseye is, you know, it's one of the smallest sights in the world, but it works like a red dot. So it works really well with holsters, and it's fiber optic and tritium, so it doesn't need batteries. But the cool thing about the fiber optic and tritium, this is a story that I can tell you that I hear thousands of times at trade shows. When people pick it up and they aim, it's, wow, I can see it. So people with aging eyes, people, you know, first-time shooters that want to be able to see, get on target quickly. That's one of the reasons SIG picked this sight, because it's so intuitive. And they actually built it into their slide, which was super cool, the way they designed it. But now if you own a Glock or any other brand, you can put that same sight on your pistol and have the same technology. What we have coming at SHOT Show that's super cool is we designed a front sight that works the same way as the rear sight. So it's really user preference. Like, I think the rear sight shoots just like a pistol red dot. It's the same thing.
Yep.
But the front sight is actually, for me, more intuitive than the rear sight. And we put a rear filler on it. And that's a fiber optic and tritium piece. And I think it's going to be a game changer. So that's going to be available at SHOT Show here coming up in 2
All
weeks.
right. So this is a new product announcement is what we're doing. So it's not installing on the rear where the rear sight would go. It's installing on the front sight.
Correct. So where the front dovetail is, or with Glock, they have the post. Yeah, this is if you have something by your bedside or you're using it for self-defense, this is close quarter combat, one of the greatest sights. It's so bright and so clear. It's amazing.
It's so different is the problem and the challenge for a lot of shooters, because they go, oh, there's no way that works. And I can tell you, I was on the range with Phil, pistol product manager for Sig Sauer. And I mean, Phil's a great shooter anyway, but I'm like, and this is neat, but I'm going to have to see it in person.
Yeah.
And it was astonishing how fast it was. Cause like you said, Bill, it does work like a red dot. And there is accuracy to it. There is some aiming, but it's not lining up a rear sight and a front sight, and just like a red dot is. So that's why it's so much faster. Right.
And it's like riding a bike. When you get it, it clicks. You know what I mean? So once you go to the range and you shoot it, you get used to it and you're on all the time. But it does take a little bit, because it's like a red dot and it doesn't have a front sight. Once you get that, once your muscle memory, your eyes, it's super intuitive and works really, really well.
I don't know what it is, but everyone is loving the 10 millimeter in the last several years. And Smith Wesson has you covered because they just brought out an M&P pistol in 10 millimeter. I know this is a pistol that generally shooters are big fans of. Now you've got it for 10. It is the M2.0, which offers an improved trigger, enhanced grip texture, interchangeable palm swell grip inserts, all the stuff that you love about an M&P pistol, just with more power. Check it out at smith-wesson.com. Also, Savage Arms. This is the new from Savage. This is a new EDC handgun, the Stance. It's a micro compact 9mm. The Stance utilizes a chassis as the serialized component of the pistol, which gives Savage the flexibility to offer a wide variety of grip frames. Features an aggressive stippling texture that wraps 360 degrees around the grip. Comes with 2 interchangeable back straps, small or large size grips. Check out the Stance pistol from Savage. Go to savagearms.com. So, Bill, I mean, if people haven't tried Meprolight, is there a product that you go, all right, here's where you start? This is the one that's really neat, or maybe the easiest one to integrate into your guns and your shooting?
My favorite product in the Meprolight line, and there's a lot of favorite products. This might be my favorite product I've ever shot, is called the Pro V2, and it comes with a green reticle, bullseye reticle.
Okay.
If you've never shot this product, look it up. It is the brightest, the clearest. I can have this product on Miami Beach on a bluebird day. It has a brightness level setting of 16 settings. At the 16 level, I could be in Aspen in the snow on a mountaintop. This thing is amazing. And then in low light, it's great. It works great with night vision. It's a phenomenal product, but the Pro V2 has a wide viewing window. It's still used by the IDF today. And it's one of the best. I mean, I would give this product to anybody, and I'd put it up against anyone in this entire industry. So if I was to pick one product in our line, it would be the Pro V2. It's got 16 brightness settings, nighttime settings, daytime settings. It does everything you need an optic to do, and it's bulletproof. I mean, it's made for, when you think about Israel, we're tested in the harshest conditions on the planet, and it has to work. So that would be the one I would say. That would be my go-to for sure, for the price and for what you get.
I can say, we shoot all different types of optics in different conditions, and it is amazing when it's super bright outside. You do want that extra brightness in your reticle, and also it depends on what the target is. I mean, you're shooting it in a bluebird day, and you've got white steel targets out there. Right. You're going to need as much brightness as you can get.
Right.
And you said it's a green reticle?
Yeah, we also do it in red, but my favorite is the green. Like people don't know this, but green is, it's easier on the eyes for a lot of people. And it's right in the middle of the visible light spectrum. So it's easier to pick up. It's soothing. It's cool. We're also used to red, and red is cool. We make a red bullseye. It's awesome. It's but the green is just, I can see it better. A lot of people can see it better. And, that's the whole thing. It's the crispness, it's the clarity of the reticle. It's the brightness of the reticle. And honestly, there isn't a brighter or clearer green reticle in the entire US market. I will say that I've compared them all and I've shot most of them, and this is the best.
Is there a difference?
In my opinion.
Yeah. Is there a difference in battery life, red to green on, because I know in like lasers, we used to say green burned up batteries horribly, but is that true for reticles?
No, it's not true for reticles. The green and the red use the same amount of battery life. It's the same amount of brightness. So, but it was a good question, but no, it's
okay. Just making sure and kind of clarifying that. And I know obviously red can be a challenge for color blindness, and we know men are more prone to being colorblind.
Right.
Does the green help with that?
The green, this is unscientific. I find that people with blue eyes, green eyes, lighter eyes tend to like the green. The people with brown eyes sometimes prefer red, and this is unscientific, but I've noticed it. Like, I've shown this to thousands of people, and it's kind of interesting the way the eye works. Everybody's eyes are different, and you might see red better than you see green. But in my personal situation and who I've shown it to, everybody goes crazy over it. The minute they see it and the minute they look through it, it's like, wow, and that's you have to. I'd say, first of all, if you don't know Meprolight, go look at it. Sportsman's Warehouse has all the optics, Bass Pro. We're in a lot of the top retailers, a lot of the top specialty shops in the country. We also have a dealer locator they can go to find us and try to. But you got to see the product. It's truly amazing. It's not, like I said, I think people will be blown away when they look at the optical crispness, the clarity, and the brightness of our products.
Yeah, and that is true. And you have to look through optics to really compare and contrast. And if you can, just like a pro tip for anybody that's looking and comparing, see if they'll let you step outside with it. I mean, maybe in a big box store that may not work, but maybe in your local mom and pop place, they may let you, because you can kind of see what the difference is and look at different colors of targets, different lighting conditions, cloudy days, real super sunny days. Play with that and kind of, you'll be able to start looking and noticing, because sometimes, Bill, it's true, right? Like certain optics, they all look good, when you're standing at the gun counter, and you need to test it out and look around the store or step outside.
That is probably the best tip I've heard in a long time. It's when you compare optic to optic and you look at it outside and you look at the clarity, that's the best way to determine which optic's best for you as a consumer. And I think you'll see the difference if you just look through it and take it outside and do exactly what you said. Play with the brightness settings. Mm-hmm. It can be adjusted to your eye perfectly for any setting, day or night.
Yeah. Well, Bill, thanks for being on with this. This has been cool. I learned a lot about what you guys are doing. I know obviously everybody is going that way of putting more optics on guns. It's kind of becoming like standard issued equipment for anybody, civilian or law enforcement, military.
Yeah, no, and I want to thank you for getting me on today and letting us talk about Meprolight and letting your customer base know about Meprolight, because like I said, we're one of the biggest hidden secrets out there. And thank you for letting us, kind of tell our story today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thanks, Bill. That's it for us, guys. We'll see you next time on Gun Talk Nation.